Quarantine. What does this mean for my relationships? If you're single or dating. Hi, everyone. I am Apollonia Ponti. I am a dating and relationship coach and founder of ApolloniaPonti.com. I am your coach for you men to master your attraction skills and build the love life and really your relationship and your personal life to excel and just in so much happiness. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a topic that we're all facing and which is so important. If this is your first time visiting, I ask you to click that like button and hit that subscribe button so you are up to date and get notified whenever I post a video. All right, let's talk about this. Let's first go into single and then we'll go into people that are in relationships and what I've noticed. And it's pretty amazing actually, and pretty, problematic at times, let's just say. So let's discuss these things. So one of the things that I want to bring up for single people is this is a great time for dating apps and conversations with women and really getting good at conversating with women. If you are someone that is not really good with online dating or has not really been able to meet women and things like that, I would really encourage you to download my online dating results for men. And this is something that I've really created just to really help you with online dating, your profile pictures, I mean, everything. How to talk to women, your description and everything. And I'll put that below in the description box. But online dating is a really crucial step because how many of you are really thankful for the internet right now during quarantine, right? It's given me so much a different level of respect for just the internet in general. And sometimes we've probably taken it for granted. You know, I need to do the social media break, but then it's also like, there's also beauty in things, right? And it's really important that we look at this as beyond a conceptual mindset and just thinking of it as like, okay, this is a great time for me to just really talk to women and see what's out there, have conversations with women, because this is how we connect with men is like conversations. Is he going to make me feel comfortable? Do we have things in common? And then imagine when quarantine is over and you guys can't wait till we see each other, your connection is going to be so much more ignited than it would be than just a 3-day and then see each other on a date. And then maybe you're connected or not, who knows? This is the valuable time to do so. That's one tip I would really encourage for people that are single to do right now. Another thing is tip number 2 is identifying what it is that you want in a relationship or and work on embodying this, right? So for example, a lot of times when I get on coaching sessions with men and, I get men from every type of caliber, right? There's men that are telling me I've never dated before. There's men that have dated plenty of women and just can't find the right one. And there's times where I ask men that, and it happens often, is I ask men, like, what is your type of woman? And typically we go into the physical level right away. And this is what's the word I'm looking for? Like understandable, I could say, for men. And it's because if we don't understand how the human mind works for a man, then we just don't understand men. And it's so important that we understand that when it comes to attraction and love, a lot of men operate from the prefrontal cortex, which is vision, right? How aesthetically, like how is a woman, right? That's the first way that a man gets turned on or sometimes attracted to a woman is aesthetically. Women are completely different at times. Typically when they're younger, they'll like a very attractive, good-looking guy, or they'll look at a good looking guy, but it doesn't mean that has to be our boyfriend because they're good looking. It's totally different. So with that said, what it's really valuable for men to do, and this is when you start getting good at identifying the better women for you, is understanding and identifying what it is that you want. So standards are really important. Values are really important. So 2 questions I want you to ask yourself and do this for yourself is like, what are your standards? So my standards, for example, you can answer this. My standards are, I want a woman that is very nurturing, let's just say. Okay, but what does nurturing mean to you, Doug? Right? Well, because nurturing can mean 2 different things to everybody. So we got to get clear on what nurturing is. Nurturing means that she understands that, she likes to take care of me in some ways that make her feel good. She likes to love me. She likes to pamper me, whatever the case may be. This is where we get clear. So let's go beyond the surface level of thinking and saying, I just want her to nurture me. I just want to trust her. Like, right? Trust has to be there. Those are values in a relationship. So what are your values? I want to trust her. Okay, well, what does trust mean? Well, that she is honest with me, that there's no other else that she'll be cheating on me with, right? So we get clear on this. So honesty is one, right? So then when you go into dating and relationships, all right, let's see if this woman has been honest with you since day one. Is she open-minded? Does she think and does she tell you what she's thinking at times, right? There's women out there that do. Tip number two is identifying your values so you can get clear in them when we go back outside and start dating again. And also too, this can help you even in tip number one. Tip number three for single people is being comfortable with yourself. And I talk about this in regards to the root of attraction, right? So the root of attraction really stems from being comfortable with yourself, right? We can't fake attraction. Like that's the thing is like, my problem arises, and I talk about this very often, is when we don't teach the true mechanism of attraction. Because there's so many times that, that I've just had coaching sessions with men that have done things, but it's like A, B, C, D, E, but then they can't get connected to a woman because the foundational element is they're not comfortable because they're lost. They're not comfortable with themselves. Energetically, women can feel this, right? I can feel when something is just off with a guy and I can't put my finger on it. And it's happened to me actually a couple times this last year and this year, just within my own business alone. And what's really important is that we to understand, like in a mind of a woman, when we feel a little off, we can't connect and we're kind of like withdrawn a little bit and we stick back, right? So getting comfortable with yourself is really important. And I give you tips in my video that I made, I'll put it up here on the cards, is about the pandemic and how to overcome fear and being okay with your oneness during this COVID-19 period that we're experiencing. Now, in regards to relationships, let's go into that now. What does this mean for your relationships? All right. So I've had clients call me because of the fact that they're getting in so many arguments right now with their loved ones, with their spouses. And this is a time for us to challenge each other because we're so used to go, 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 go. 9 to 5, my husband's not home, but I'm home. But now he's here and now he's trying to control my normal routine. And it just throws us off, right? So communication in relationships is going to be key. This is what we do at home. And this is, I jokingly say this, is I've been practicing quarantine my whole life because I work from home and I'm a homebody already. And I literally I'll go out and then I'm like, I can't wait to get home. Like, it's just, this is where I thrive. I'm comfortable here. So, and I never used to be in my 20s. I was always going out. I was like, I never stayed home. But anyways, we're getting off topic here. So one of the biggest things to understand here is that in our relationships, we should get a schedule. And what we do here at home is, I have a set time where I'm typically in my office. I come out, I'll do lunch. If he's doing lunch, I'll do lunch with him. And then we go back to our separate ways, like separate sides of the home, different rooms, whatever the case may be, if you can do that. And then at night we come together, right? So it gives us that time to really focus on other people, to focus our ambitions, to focus on ourselves, to focus on my business. And it really works really, really well. Typically too, we don't work out together as much unless we are not spending as much time together. Then we'll start working out together. So I would really recommend for some days when you're in quarantine to go out with your partner and work out with them, but then some days to do it by yourself as well. It's really important, I think, during this time that we get okay with our own oneness, right? And we have that time alone and that solitude. Also too, a lot of times we can lead to expectations. And I want you guys to remember, men, as you know, because I work with them a lot, and men operate differently instinctually. And so women kind of are really an emotional state of like, I have to protect my family. I have to protect my children. I have to protect. And when they get there, they want the man to feel like, all right, you're right, honey. We have to protect. But also too, in the masculine presence, sometimes a man can be like, don't worry, sweetheart. Everything's going to be okay. And I'm sure a lot of you are really connecting to what I'm saying right now. And then she gets mad at you for doing that. Here's why, guys. This is happening so much, even with my friends in their marriages and things like that. They've talked about this with me, is you have to understand that men are, any women that are watching this, is women are totally different than a man's operations of thinking. Sometimes it takes a man a lot longer to get into that nurturing aspect of, okay, I'm going to protect. It's not meaning like he's going to protect with a mindset that everything is okay, right? Everything is okay, babe. That's his way of protecting things. And then a woman sees it as, you're not taking it that seriously. right? It takes men time, women, and men understand that women do get emotionally triggered in times like this. So when it happens in your relationship, or if it happened in your relationship, find out why, right? So I'm going to give you some leading questions when you get into relationship and when you get into arguments or when you're butting heads at home, because we don't know how long we're going to be doing this for, and some leading questions to start off with when you get in the argument. Sweetheart, I know you're upset with me right now, but help me understand why and how I'm making you feel this way. Okay. So if we can understand that when we get into an argument with our partner, usually it's because our other partner not only peed us off, right? Pissed us off, but also it's because we just want to be heard. A lot of times when people argue or they're in that state, it's because they feel like they're not being heard. So the best thing that you can do is offer, because then when you offer, then she's going to hopefully hear you out as well. And there's a lot of things that can happen with the children and schooling at home. That's a whole nother thing. So there is a lot of pressure. I would say get on a schedule and try to chime in. Also to do things like TikTok videos, board games with your children, or if it's just you and her and you're just in a life where you're just your dogs and no children, this is a time to also do so, right? And experience those fun things together, cooking together, putting on music, starting your day with music instead of the news. How can you be more impactful at home? So I hope this helps with your relationships and with dating. Another thing I want to talk about is, like, for example, if there was somebody that was dating somebody and you really, really liked them, and then all of a sudden this happened and you can't see them again, and you're like, is attraction going to be lost? Is this person going to love me? Am I going to really lose this person now? Like, listen, guys, if we get into that fearful state, then you will lose that person, because then we're going to start overcompensating and calling, FaceTime. And we're not going to let that woman breathe, because we're in a state of lack and we're not acting authentic. Here's what I tell my clients that ask me this is probably the moment where she can actually sit back and be like, damn, I really like this guy, because she can't even date anybody else. She's at home. We as humans want attention. We thrive from connection. We want affection. We want to feel validated. We want to feel love at times. So what makes you think that she will lose attraction for you? Unless you get into flight or fright mode, what I talk about, into the scarcity mindset, and you don't come from abundance, then this is when we can kind of kill the relationship, because you are also a rock for her as well as she should be for you. So hope that answers your questions in regards to this. Join me every Tuesday for our lives here on YouTube until the rest of the quarantine. I am taking your live questions. I love you guys. If this is your time, I want you to look down below on this description box. If this is your time and you have a lot of time on your hands, I want you to start getting good and just downloading some of my products right now and really listening to these audio seminars, really working on personal development, really working on getting better in your relationships, because I really think that in life, we are here to give love and be loved. And when we can experiencing this from a really amazing level of abundance in our life, it's a beautiful thing. So, all right, guys, I'll see you again in the next video. Remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.